in theory, we should be streaming here. Okay. Okay, so I don't know if we're live. I think we might be live. Okay, so if anyone is out there in live stream land, if you can see and or hear me, please indicate that you can. I'm going to leave this running here just to make sure that things are working. Oh, if you don't know me, my name is Mike, by the way. But it's not going to be attractive in here for a while. I'm going to be like fiddling with knobs and buttons and stuff. So let me know if you can hear me out there in live stream land. Because this is thus far a test right now. So we'll see. Oh, here we go. We got someone. Howard says yes on both. Oh, thank you. Good, excellent. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it going here just to make sure that we keep connection here, and hopefully that will work. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it going. So folks in live stream land, we're live, but we're not live yet. It's not exactly time to go. I'm just making sure that things are working, so you can let us know out there in live stream land if you can hear and if you can see us. But I'll be back in just a little bit with the cast, and we'll start this thing. Okay? Thank you so much for being here. Be right back. We are live. I'm just letting it run, but we're not live yet. Okay, we're not playing yet. Okay. Okay, be right back. Oh, and I'm turning off the mic right now just so you can't hear noise here. So we are live, but we'll be back. Okay, the microphone for the live streaming should be back on now. I sure hope it is. I'm going to look at this right here, and I'm going to start this as well. Okay, oh. I'm going to start this video in 1 second here. Okay, the video is going. The live stream is going. Hello, live stream folks. Hello. And I'm going to open these big doors if they open. And hello. Hi. If you don't know me, my name is Mike. If you know me, my name is still Mike. And that was a terrible joke. And I'm the writer and composer of the show you're about to see. I really like writing material with and for specific casts. And I've been really fortunate that the really talented group of people that you're about to see and hear from shared with me their thoughts on the question, how has your life changed in the past year and so many months? As you could imagine, a lot of the ways that their lives changed had to do with the thing in the world. I feel like if I say things out loud on live stream, I'll get banned these days from something like I'm not actually gonna say. But you know the thing that's going on. We'll talk about it. You'll hear it. But what really surprised me was all the ways that really had nothing to do with that thing. What I was not surprised by was how amazing all these folks are. They're being very brave, very vulnerable, very real and awesome, and they're just the type of people I love to write for. So, hi, we're live streaming, so I'm saying hi a bunch of places because we have cameras up here and we're like live streaming a billion places, and I'm not like young enough to be cool enough to like set all this stuff up. Actually, my camera is facing the wrong way on here. So let me flip. Okay, look, now it sees me. Hi. Okay, great. Okay, so, right. So all that emotional stuff I just said, internalize that. So this is obviously we don't have enough space to do like a musical, and we didn't have enough time to rehearse and all that kind of jazz. So what this should be thought of as is like a cabaret, right? So imagine you go to a cabaret, so they'll be sitting here and they've got their water and they got whatever, but we do have a script and we did practice, trust us. And I think that's all I have to say. So enjoy. Now what? Here we go.
I know that.
Work. I'm in our team. We know.
This won't be work though. This will be fun. We're going to sing songs and tell stories about how the world suddenly ended 2 years ago and ruined just about everything everyone and anyone knew or had hoped about society and ourselves. Yay.
Well, I'm sold. Plus, Mike already paid us.
Yeah, I didn't work on those high notes for nothing. And side note, I sing some high notes.
Really well, too.
Oh, thanks, I'd hug you, but I hate human contact.
Oh, no, that's okay. I think I forgot how to hug sometime last year. So, are you with us, youngin'?
I mean, I am supposed to experience professional live theater as often as possible outside of school. Maybe I can count this as a credit towards another class I won't attend mostly. Some of you are professionals, right?
Well, have you been to Six Flags? I'm friends with Tweety Bird.
You may be the greatest person I've ever met. If she's in, I'm in.
That's the spirit.
This'll be great, just as long as we don't talk about politics or religion or the economy or social media or climate change or aliens.
Wait, aliens?
They could be listening.
I think we're good.
This time.
We should probably actually start the show though, because it says so right here in the script.
That's fair. So, formal introductions. Hi, I'm Rachel.
Sycamore? Jamie?
Wesley Dean Tucker, I have 3 names because I'm an artist.
Show off.
I'm Julia. And I'm Megan, and we're so happy to be here in this huge house to perform for you and your hard cheeses.
For real, it's been a while, unless you count the shower. Shower Wesley Dean Tucker is booked.
He has 3 names too.
No, he plays at Casper.
We should take a moment to set some expectations for the performances. Everyone's mostly just watched Netflix and our own dreams dying for the past 20-odd months. Tonight won't be a news report.
Tonight won't be a sermon.
Tonight will be about what we've been through.
And hopefully a little of what you've been through too, after, everything.
as performers and creators, whether you're just starting out on your professional journey like me, or old and boring like Mike, things took quite a turn in early 2020. Since then, we've lived with doubt,
Loss.
fear.
Loneliness.
And questions that just keep coming. Who am I in this world?
Who can I be?
What can I take from this?
Will things go back to the way they were before?
Do I even want them to?
Things happened. Things changed. Some things, and far too many people, aren't coming back.
And what do we do with that?
Where do we turn?
How should we feel?
Who should we believe? When will this end?
Since this whole thing started, it seems we've been turning on the news or checking our phones or opening our email every day and asking,
Now
what?
A day, a week, a month, a year, another maybe. The sun, the moon, the stars keep tracing the sky. The tale goes on, and though before we call it crazy, it's been a story for you and I. It's not our place to tell you how to feel or how to think, or who to blame, or even if you should care. But life is started as the artist in this artist space. It's up to us to try and take you there. Back there to hold that day, the moment when the story shattered, and all the plans we had to solve like dust in a flash. The everyday we thought had mattered was gone as quickly as the public trust. So suddenly we go from knowing that we're safe and sound, every confidence is where we are, to brokenness laying up on the ground, praying to heaven how to get this far. We're all saying, now what? What more can I take of this? I'm falling forward after fighting each day. Now what? What's there to make of this? My life's been broken down in every single way. And people tell me just be patient, things get better, waiting good things will come, but do they? We don't have the answers as to who, when, or how. We're stuck with now what? So what now? I toss, I turn, I try and run this stuff through the plans I had, and every step I take, I fail to stop. Through every mountain mumbled out of fear and doubt that I can see through shame. To suicide and think that I had everything in order. With my whole life I know I need just so. As time goes on, my past perceptions and it got it out. The only thing I'm sure of is that I don't know. We don't know, so now what? What more can I take of this? I'm falling forward after fighting each day. Now what? What's there to make of this? My life's been broken down in every single way. And people tell me just be patient, things will turn, waiting good things will come, but do they? We don't have the answers as to who, when, or how. We're stuck with now what? So what now? All we know right now is this is sort of
Or a son of a bitch.
sometimes you reach for the sun, but you end up in a ditch.
Stick your head in the right way till you're left facing in.
And then you're stuck running a race you lost before you begin.
Learn that life's about you have
To take the doubts that come from your life. You learn that life's not granted to be guaranteed. And the dreams we planted grow from bitter seed. A day, a week, a month, a year, another baby. If we say life now what? What more can I take of this? I'm falling forward faster, fighting each day. Now what? What's there to make of this? My life's been broken down in every single way. And people tell me just be patient, things are better, waiting good things will come, but do they? We don't have the answers as to who, when, or how. We're stuck with now what? So what now? What now? What more can we say?
So, as you might have noticed, I'm a bit younger than the rest of the fine folks up here tonight. as youthful and well-preserved as they all are.
Damn straight.
I find there are a lot of misconceptions about my generation floating around today, and so I thought that maybe I'd provide a little boots-on-the-ground reporting from the front lines of America's misguided collegiate ranks. First, we're not all mindless partiers with no sense of responsibility. Some of us party semi-responsibly, thank you very much. Next, and for real here, we're scared. At least most of us, most of the time. But you can't live like that forever, and you have to find some way forward, and part of my way has been, well, this.
Tastefully appointed front rooms?
Semi-well-crafted monologues. A good job, right?
Music. Always music. The pandemic knocked the wind out of me, but it wasn't the fear of illness or the cancellation of social events that really got to me. What was most difficult about the whole situation was grappling with the fact that there was something out there that was completely out of my control, something that wasn't my fault at all, that was still completely upending my life. I was, and still am, a control freak. Maybe that's because of the hyper-competitive suburban area in which I grew up. Maybe that's genes. Who knows? All I do know is that if something's going on that concerns me, I need to be the one to understand it and fix whatever's wrong with it. And something's always wrong when you're wired like I am. Just ask my therapist. Not that this hasn't helped me out. I make good grades, I'm at a good school, and until everything changed, I thought I had a pretty clear path to a pretty good adult life. Holding down the fort, or I should say holding down every fort, even those that weren't mine, had paid off previously, so I just kept doing it. Then the pandemic hit, and everything changed, and I had time to really think about it. And I realized that while I'm still so young, I'd already missed out on so much. The pandemic taught me regret. I remember the Halloween before everything happened, while all of my friends were out, having fun and a great time. I stayed in my dorm and studied for tests I didn't even need to worry about acing. I would give anything to have that moment and those memories with them back. Who cares about a couple of tests in the long run? This is all within reason, of course. I'm not talking about going completely wild and disregarding all sense of decorum and morality.
That's what grad school's for.
But I am talking about living a life, not simply attempting to hold the seams together. And it took what happened to teach me how to start enjoying the good moments, saying yes to them, even when that's scary. It's scary now, to be honest. To be up in front of people bearing witness to the depth of the human experience always was, and always will be, pretty frightening to someone like me. I can't control how you'll feel about what I do, or how I will feel about it afterwards. The notes are scored, the words are written, the reactions to them aren't. But I've learned, more so in the past few years than ever before, that I need to keep going, no matter what. I just want to make art, perform art, live and breathe art. Because in times like this, but really in all times, everyone needs to figure out a how and a why to survive. For me, it's been my friends. It's been stupid animal videos on the internet. It's been overpriced coffee drinks from time to time. Most of all, it's been saying yes to living and doing what drives me through the fear. Specifically and especially music. Always music. So if I have to wait a little longer for bigger stages, fine. If I have to take on a million other jobs I don't want to get there, I'll do it. If the world doesn't right itself quickly and I'm stuck performing mostly to my mirror for another week, or month, or year, I don't want that. But if it happens, bring it up. Music and I have a new understanding. We fight sometimes, but we're pals. And nothing's gonna take that away from me. Not now, not ever. You start with just one measure, just one note, and you go up, and you go down, and you're amazed and frightened, free, and lost inside the music, inside the sound that came from you. You didn't think anything came. here it was, you had found it, and you swore once you found it that you'd never let it go. You had more sound, more power, not just notes, but your escape plan is what you play. And suddenly you're noticed, listened to, and for once you feel you might have something to say that comes from you. Who could think anything came from you? But here it was something that you could do. Here it was, you had found it, and you swore once you found it that you'd never let it go. As long as you could breathe, you'd have a song to sing, and when the words wouldn't come, then you'd sing anything because you found a path, and you had made the choice that you would sacrifice, and you would raise your voice, and no matter what life threw at you, you always knew you'd make it through, because nothing and no one could take this from you. Always the clock keeps ticking, the years roll by, and you're not so young anymore. And with adulthood looming, doubt all consuming was knocking at your door. It came for you. You weren't ready, but it came for you. And yet unsteady, still you opted to face the music within the music deep inside of you. It was all you could do. As long as you could breathe, you'd have a song to sing, and when the words wouldn't come, then you'd sing anything because you found a path, and you had made the choice that you would sacrifice, and you would raise your voice, and no matter what life threw at you, you always knew you'd make it through, because nothing and no one could take this from you. Sometimes things don't work as they should, and while you always knock on wood, there's no real way to tell right now if the will can make a way somehow. That's what this fragile world will say, and if you listen day by day, the doubt they shout can rip into the daring dreams inside of you, and you'll say never, never again will I sing my song. And you'll wonder if ever again you'll feel like you belong anywhere. As long as I can breathe, I'll have a song to sing. When the words just won't come, I'll just sing anything because I found my path, and I have made my choice. I will sacrifice, and I will raise my voice, and no matter what life does to me, because of what I've seen, I see I need to be who I was born to be. And nothing and no one can take this from me. Never, never, never. You start with just one measure, just one note, and you go up.
That was lovely.
Lovely. I believe the proper term all the kids are using is cool AF.
The kids don't state that.
Am I still your hero?
You know Tweety Bird, so we're good.
Yes.
It is nice to see that the younger generation is just as blissfully naive about a life as a professional artist as the rest of us.
Well, if they weren't, would art even exist? I'm pretty sure it sucked for hundreds of years to try and be an artsy for a living.
Yeah, you don't do it for the money and prestige. Look at Mike.
At least there's costumes sometimes.
Costumes do rule.
And making new friends. Friends are fun.
Sure, when you can actually be with them. Phone friends are getting old.
Not as old as phone meetings, phone parties, phone dating.
Sure, but just think how much it would suck without them. Can you even imagine a world without them?
Well, yeah, we can. It used to exist. We called it the world.
I don't like the sound of that.
Like it or not, it's how it was. Meetings held in meeting rooms, shows done in theaters, first dates awkwardly fumbled through in coffee shops less than 6 feet away. All back in that mystical time gone by called 2019.
Honestly, it seems like a lifetime ago. I'm nostalgic.
Maybe 2019 will come back around. Like bell bottoms. Or Bernie Sanders.
Or we'll just have to get over it and realize that it's a new world.
I suppose it's not all bad. I don't even have to put on pants for phone friends.
Rachel, we've been friends forever. You barely put on pants hanging out before the world.
It's true.
I'm inheriting a brave, new, pantsless world.
At least there's decent Wi-Fi.
And a whole lot of free time. I don't know about all of you, but I've been absolutely killing it on the useless waste of time front.
Oh god, me too. I tried to teach my turtle Mandarin last week, but then he just bit me, and I ended up crying. So then I watched the news for a bit, and I ended up crying. I've been spending a lot of time crying.
It keeps the pores open.
Maybe these nice folks would like to hear some of our other new skills, you know, because they're sitting here and waiting for us to sing again.
Right. Let's do it.
Woke up at 2, then at 4, then at 6, then 8 and 10. Watched a show at 3 and
really do angry. I mean, I have anger. Everyone has anger sometimes, but I'm usually not the one to show it. That started to change over the past year. You know what? I'm happy about it. Not happy to be angry when I am, but happy to allow myself the place to feel what I truly feel, be it positive or not, and to find my peace, even if that peace means staying away from situations and people who threaten it. This is a hard lesson to learn for an empathetic older sibling used to playing the mediator, but it's one I'm working on. With self-realization comes truth about your surroundings, and unfortunately that's meant as times being struck with seeing in black and white how little some people care about the well-being of others. Working with the public, I've witnessed many times as people have squandered opportunities to be kind and patient, instead falling back on selfishness and laziness. Just recently, someone who came into my office confessed that they were driven to quit working in the medical field because the past year's hardships and the public's reaction to them gave them flashbacks to the beginning of the AIDS epidemic. They had tears in their eyes. You hear things like that, see things like that, and you think, what the hell are we doing? In particular, what am I doing? How can I align my words and actions along with what I believe will help others, or at least not burden those who are struggling alongside me? In this world that has been forced inside, how can we take steps to ensure that when it fully reopens, we make it a world that's worth going back to? This may all sound doom and gloom, but it's not. Actually, in a weird way, all the pain and strife have helped me find a strength in myself that I never knew existed. In all my life of trying to figure out everyone else's issues for them, I hadn't really taken the time to look at any of my own. Since being forced to, I've been able to face old trauma and take real steps to start to heal, and I've rediscovered old passions and remembered why they were important to me in the first place. I used to have this crippling fear of judgment and need to feel perfect at things before I would ever try anything new. I say used to, but it's still there. I just learned to shut it up a little, because the past months have shown me that life is too short to wait on anything that's important. You'll never be perfect at anything. No one is. So that's a little of where I am and where I'm trying to go. That's the part I say and try to show outside. But that doesn't mean that the old fears are gone. Most days they're screaming at me to analyze, codify, to see every angle of every situation or feeling or action before I allow myself to just live. Here's a little of what they say. Problem's not a problem if you take it day by day. Take a baby step to start out, pick apart and chip away at the mountain that's before you. And to get there I was taught in the myriad of classes and the shelves of books I bought. No one is untreatable, no one's case is lost. my list never listed living. Check it off, write it down, white it out, fix it now. I had a list, I had order, I had something to hold on to, but that's then, this is now, and they can't tell me how to find peace when the pieces don't fit into neatness. Who am I if I can't fix you? If I can't fix me, how can I fix
Julia! What? I was seeing what Facebook thought of that.
I was pouring my heart out.
I know. You even got the little care emoji they added. Look, people really care.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, Facebook says it.
Oh my god.
Look, we all liked your song, Megan. You can't blame Julia for being so plugged in.
The youth are lost.
Big tech has her. She needs Jesus.
Wesley, she might be Jewish.
She needs Moses.
No, that's not a thing.
Maybe we all just need to aim for a little less time online and a little more time around the piano in person, like this in the future. Can we all agree on that?
My Instagram followers say that's a fantastic idea. And I look great in this light.
Can't go wrong with a classic warm halogen.
Okay, wait, isn't it strange that we're so influenced by what mostly anonymous people say on a platform run by and solely for the monetary benefit of huge multinational corporations with vested interests in us acting upon how we feel?
No, I think we'll just gloss over that.
Really?
No, wait. I think Megan's run-on sentence might have a point. I have been feeling a little more anonymized lately.
Is that a word?
I don't know, Mike wrote it.
Probably not then.
And it just so happens we have a song that fits these feelings. Shall we?
Instagram says yes. Let's do it.
Go around again.
Wake up and someone's there to say how to start my day and how to feel about it. With everything that's going on, it feels wrong. I've got no time to doubt it until the day is done, and I need someone who if someone's there to say how to start my day and how to feel about it. When I'm lost in the crowd, the other voices are too loud for me to claim my space. Where am I? I can't tell anymore. What have my feelings on for when I'm just keeping pace? Where does the truth lie? When each day that goes by finds me feeling more out of place in this story of everyone. Where am I? Was I ever really there? Oh, no. There we go. You're probably expecting me to start talking about how the pandemic changed everything for me, right? I don't blame you. See another performer get up here and think about what we've all talked about so far, and you're probably sitting there expecting that I'm about to take you on a grand personal journey through a massive shift in my work and play, culminating in newfound knowledge about how the more things change, the more we change with them. But what about when they don't? That's what I've dealt with more than anything else. When someone asks me how this past year or so has changed me, it's difficult at first for me to even say it has. I had a job before. I had jobs before. I still have them. I had friends and family before, and thank goodness I still have them. We just see each other more virtually these days. The hardest thing for me has been what didn't change for me compared to my peers. And that's where I've often felt most left out of the conversation about our shifting world. All of us artist types are constantly torn between what's required of us and what we dream of becoming. Even in the best of times and the most average of years, every artist I know is one audition or donation or grant away from getting to do exactly what we want to do in this life, and one more unplanned bill away from ruin. So we live on a tightrope with our time and energy in the balance. Do we hold on to a job we hate that can help pay the bills this month, or do we take time off to rehearse more? Do we take on more responsibilities elsewhere that will hinder our chances of being able to be in new performances or create opportunities? Or do we eat beans for a month and show up to another cattle call audition with no guarantee? No one has the perfect answer. And so we just learn to live with the unanswerable questions. For me, part of the solution has been surrendering to that old cliche, working at a restaurant. Which, much to my landlord's delight, keeps the rent paid on time. It's not glitz and glamour, but it does come with reduced price sandwiches. So I'm happy to be fed and grateful to be housed. That should be enough, right? Maybe. And for lots of people, it is. But I kept on hearing this voice throughout the past several months, and it wasn't just my roommate's Zoom meetings down the hall. You see, I'm an actor. That's how I move through the world. It's how I feel the most impactful. I've never been a farmer or a surfer or someone who collects those horrifying mugs that resemble historical figures, but I'm imagining that they all have the same kind of disease. Maybe they'll make a pill someday that if you want, you can take it, and it will tell the part of your brain that powers your need to do financially irresponsible but soul-feeding exercises to shut up. But Pfizer's pretty busy making bank in other areas currently. So I'm stuck with the brain I got. And the brain I've got keeps feeding me guilt. Guilt and questions like, have I set myself up the right way? Am I doing the right thing? Should I be doing more right now? Do I even count anymore as a professional artist?
that's the best one. You see, when my friends lost big gigs when it all hit the fan, I didn't, because I hadn't booked anything recently. And while everyone around me was understandably horrified about what their finances and lives were going to look like going forward, I kept chugging along at my service job. I should have felt great, right? I should have felt responsible and lucky and maybe even a bit proud that my life wasn't totally crumbling around me. But I didn't. While my peers mourned the musicals and plays and TV spots that should have been, I couldn't gloat or brag or pat myself on the back. I envied them because they lost what I wished I'd had the opportunity to miss. Sometimes the hardest things are the most consistent. There have been some personal changes, of course. Being alone with one's thoughts for hours at a time as the weeks and months go by are sure to dig some new grooves into that old gray matter. One big one over the last 6 months or so is that I'm starting to learn how to prioritize my own emotions and wants over my pathological, ingrained, and comfortable need to protect those of all of the people in my life. It's hard, and I'm not great at it, but I'm learning and relearning and then relearning. To avoid all of the guilt over my endless TV marathons, I also picked up some new hobbies to further solidify my stereotypical quirky theater girl status. Artists gotta art, you know. If you were to call me over the past year, the conversation might look something like this. So I knit now. I know how typical and lame, but I love it just the same. I made a sock. The world is over. So this weekend, are we zooming our home meal or just the main course? What's the deal? Is there a dress code? Since we'll all be all alone, watching phones in our own home, I kind of miss life. I kind of miss the crappy dating. No, I don't. That was a lie, but friends were cool and I was nice. Sometimes to hear the coffee percolating, watching kids run past the cafe after school. Back when there was school and not this fighting. All this fighting every day, you know it just gets in the way of good TV, i.e. my social life. That's why I knit now. I knit and cry and pace the floor because I don't know what's in store and I can't take it anymore. Is this okay with you? No, I don't mean the web connection. I mean these 4 walls, this every day of looking forward to another week just like the last, watching time just ticking past. Is this okay? I took up cross-stitch and in-home dance and ukulele while the world conspired to sway me just to sob. I tried to journal, but all the thoughts inside my head were fraught with existential dread. And besides, I had to make it to my dead-end job. Remember summer, shifting so smoothly into fall as our city changed its colors right on cue. I wish I'd taken the time to see the beauty of it all. Now that every season's painted with a dollar hue, what's left for me to do? There's nothing left for me to say. It's all been shouted every way on every screen. I keep on pushing through, forcing myself to rearrange the plans I need for the change. What's left for me? I want a life again, to see smiling faces with nothing to hide. I want freedom from fear while I'm struggling and striving towards every last dream I lock deep inside. Give me life again, not just existence. Be it safe, be it sorry, it's mine. We disconnected somewhere, and I'm not talking about the Wi-Fi. It's a new world out there, one of hate and one of hope, and it forces me to cope with both each day. I can't afford to hide, so I walk a fragile line with my feelings barely kept at bay. Though I don't know how much longer I can keep them at sock and you can show me your cat, and we will both hurt a lot, but we won't talk about that. And I'll keep hoping to see you for real, to hug you for real, to love you for real again sometime, someday.
There's more questions than answers.
There's more hate than love.
There's more hurting than helping.
We're missing the point.
We're missing those lost.
We're striving for change.
It's been too long.
There's no end in sight.
There's no plan to end it.
And what about when it does?
What happens then?
Will we remember?
How to live?
How it felt?
How it should.
Who was hurt?
Who we are.
And why?
Will it ever be normal again? Will it ever be fine? Will this life ever go back to boring? Will it ever again feel as truly mine? Will the spring and the rain and the flowers, will the picnics of people in tow, will the summer shine down on the summer shine down and warm faces of children below? And when autumn brings chill to the air, in the park will our neighbors be there? When the winter time comes, will they be walking by to say hi? Will it ever be business as usual? Will it ever be time to explore? Will we settle for what we've been given? Will we find that it's time to sing something more? Will it ever be those will we ever be? Will what's happening now make us bold? Will we look back in time and see history right? Will we question the story that's told? And when there is a close to our journey, at the end when our race is run, will this moment be where it all ended, or will time go it's where we begun? Will it ever be what life was before for you and me? Or is it forever to be mentioned, never forget, but always love? Will it ever again feel like living, and if so, then when? 'Cause I'm dying to know what to ask, where to go, who to see, to learn. Will it ever be? Will it ever be business as usual? Will it ever be time to explore? Will this life that we set out for more? If you give it or find that it's time to stay strong? Will it happen with portrait or flowers? Will what's happening something make us bold? Will the summer shine down on this acres walk down and bring us to the children be home? Will it ever be what life was before for you and me? Or is it forever to be mentioned, never forget, but always love? Will it ever again feel like living, and if so, then when? 'Cause I'm dying to know what to ask, where to go, who to see, to learn. Will it ever be? Will it ever be? Will it ever
everyone, I lost a bunch this past year and a half. I missed out on social gatherings, fun trips downtown, vacations, gigs I could have gotten. But if people ask me what I'm missing most since this pandemic started, none of that even registers. See, last year, the closest friend I've ever had died of cancer. Thanks to the COVID lockdowns and gathering restrictions, his memorial couldn't be held until recently. The whole time frame, the usual traditions of gathering and mourning together with others, everything was just off. As if having someone dear to you dying ever feels on, but you get what I'm saying. He was not only my best friend, but the first person I could truly collaborate with creatively. He'd see what I was doing and contribute his gifts to make it even better. He left so many of our artistic projects unfinished, and he wanted me to finish them. No pressure, right? I know it's what he wanted, but I don't know how I'll ever find people to fill his shoes. When you're a creator, your works are your babies. It's hard to find anyone to share them with, and once you do, they're family, sometimes closer. People have said that grief doesn't end and doesn't leave. It's with you forever, you just learn to live with it. I think that's where I'm at, or at least where I'd like to get to. I honestly miss him all the time. We shared so much. He wanted to be a part of my life and felt flattered that I allowed him to. We had so many similarities from our interests to our personalities, and where we differed, those differences often complemented each other. When I act, sing, dance, do the splits, audition, anything creative, I think about how much he enjoyed my performing and performing with me, and how he always rooted for me. When I drive, I think about how he found out that I knew how to, but was afraid every time I went behind the wheel. And so he had me drive his car while I was helping him move, because as he told me, he could tell I had a very deep fear and he wanted to be there when I conquered it. Who says that? Who's that nice? When I write, I think about how much he loved reading my work, talking about it, analyzing it, collaborating, and planning to perform it with me in the projects I created. When I work at Six Flags...
With Tweety Bird!
With Tweety Bird, and in different roles. I think about how he cheered me on as I auditioned for different parts, or how he'd seek me out for daily selfies because our makeup look changed every day and he wanted them documented. I love puns, and when I make puns, I think of him. When I have good news, I have to remember I can't share it with him and watch him get excited. When something bad happens, I don't have my safe person to talk to, so I have to either take a leap of faith, confiding in someone else, or just deal with it alone. I miss his famous hugs he used to give at hellos, goodbyes, or just because you needed one. I miss how he'd randomly Skype call me and we'd end up talking for hours, or how he'd send me random text messages because something made him think of me. He left his cat behind. His little 4-year-old black cat now has a home with me, which in a weird way keeps my friend close to, but it's not him and nothing will ever be him again. So yeah, I lost a whole lot this past year and a half, but this is just my story. I think about all of the other friends, family members, and loved ones who have a story just like mine. There are over 800,000 of those stories in our country alone, thanks to the pandemic. Not many get a scene and a song. They all deserve one. Nothing will ever be any of them again either. For now, here's my song for my friend. Just a few words that I wish I could tell him in person.
I know what you'd be thinking. I know just what you'd say. You'd tell me to get up and to face this new day. I can almost feel the words. I can almost see your smile. pretty words to try and say the things they feel. I don't know where to even start. We always were a package deal, where there was one, then there were two. We were such fun, were me and you. That's what a friend can do. I'll go on because of you.
So, for me, most of the last year was business as usual. I would get up, go to work, and things would mostly progress as they had, except everyone was masked up and generally a little freaked out. See, I'm not a frontline healthcare worker or a grocery store manager. I'm a banker.
A banker? She's the man.
Now, hold on. It's just until I book more shows.
You're certain? You can't be in our club if you're fiscally responsible.
Oh, trust me.
We're watching you.
And so is Facebook. And so is God. Yeah, Facebook.
What?
Here I am.
Okay, so like I was saying, I'm a banker. And over the past year, I have done everything that was asked of me at work. Helped process payroll protection loans, answered calls from terrified customers wondering when their stimulus checks were going to come in, and covered long emergency hours for departments I had never even heard of because they just didn't have the staff to continue otherwise. In my free time, I did everything that I was supposed to as well. Shopped at local businesses, avoided large crowds, stayed physically distanced, all of it. Except that for me, that was also business as usual because I have some severe social anxiety. And the fear that kept me from following my dreams as a musician and an actor worked to my advantage for once in my life. For the first time, everyone else was playing by my rules. Don't want to go out? Great. Neither do I. You don't want to be in the same room? Perfect. I was planning on leaving anyway. No in-person gatherings for the foreseeable future. Your nightmare is my staycation. And so it went for a while. But what I could never have expected to happen did. As the world around me started to function according to my usual fears, the space and time away from society at large gave me a chance to really look at why I held on to those fears for so long. And I found out that while they were regulated temporarily for everyone, I don't really need them forever. So I started to do something about it. I started auditioning again and recording music with others and starting up conversations with random people, which might seem incredibly mundane, but it was a huge step for me. I know that I would have changed in the past year no matter what. That's just how life goes. But if things had simply gone on around me the way that they usually do, I wonder what I would have changed into. Would I still be scared of really living? Would I still be hiding from opportunities to be my true self? Would the walls have grown even higher? Would the boundaries harder to contest? I'm not where I want to be. Not yet. But where before I could only dream of the path, now I feel like I'm walking it. I have a long road ahead, as all of us do, but I'm not just standing by any longer. Day by day, I'm getting there. It's been a year, and years before that too, of knowing where I want to be, and not going anywhere. I lived in fear, stuck to my doubt like glue, with all the things that make me me, kept away from open air. It's not that
and less handshakes.
Well, there's your campaign slogan right there.
No, I mean it. Why do I have to shake your hand? It's weird. And strangers' hands are gross, and I don't like it. Thank God for COVID. On that front. Far less handshakes.
But it's just what people do.
Yeah, but why? I get 1,000 years ago, or whatever, but why now? It doesn't do anything but make people uncomfortable. All limp hands and crushing hands and dry hands and clamming hands. It's a nightmare.
The man is making some sense.
I've got more. Why do we have to work useless corporate jobs? Who created money? Why didn't we stick with fair trade for fair services? We live in the future. We've sent people to space. Why can't we figure out a better way to place different people into fields that suit their actual skills and personalities, rather than throwing everyone into a big blender we call society and scramble for scraps? Why is it so crazy to stop and think about these things? Why is every structure underpinning our education and work system so monolithic and beyond question? Why does everyone just accept terrible situations as immovable objects without recourse? I should probably mention here that I've dealt with anxiety and depression for a while.
No kidding. You too?
There's a lot of that going around.
Well, my version means that I have a huge issue dealing with these things. You see, I'm a bit different. Not quite autistic, but certainly neurodivergent. So the things that most people just take for granted don't always fly with me. Ironically, what this meant was, while it was doing the opposite for so many, COVID actually gave me room to breathe. Unemployment was a magical gift. Because for once, as an adult, I could exist and create. And begin to craft a life without conforming to all the usual expectations. I didn't have to see people that I only interacted with out of obligation, or do things that gave me no joy at all simply because people around me said I had to. The world gave me an out and I took it. But that doesn't mean I did nothing. Hence, writing funny parody songs. Without the normal restrictions placed upon my time and energy, I wrote Sondheim parodies, I constructed fictional languages. I devoted myself to really dig into the vast array of subjects as other than performing. Learning has been the only thing that's ever consistently made me happy. Being more fully as myself, strange as it may be, I found a partner who loves me and all my quirks. Supports the ways in which I stray from the norm. Where I think I don't fit in, he says I'm brave. So I want to prove him right. So it's been a year of change, of self-reflection and acceptance. Even though the anxiety and depression still rear their ugly heads from time to time and the noise in my head can periodically be infuriating, I'm learning how I can create a life I truly want to live for years to come. When this pandemic finally ends, I'll be mostly ready for it. And I won't forget all those like me who, for whatever reason, felt adrift and alone long before the world hit the pause button. Before all this, before the world just up and quit, I might have said, maybe it should. I know that sounds bad, but it wasn't out of spite. At least I think not quite. But life's for those who can fully live, and I wasn't sure I ever would. I'd look around the streets downtown and feel alone in the biggest crowd. But now the streets are empty, the people mostly gone, and now, without distraction, I feel a new reaction in isolation. My world's rotation tilted, and now in shifted space, I'm not so out of place anymore. I don't wish a worry on this already worried world, but I'm in no hurry to go back to what's in store. As I walk the streets tonight, my wish in this dying light is we remember those who were lost before. I've always been, and I'll likely always be, a man detached from all the noise of society. It's not that I didn't try or give all that I could give, but still I'd always feel I'd come up short in what others want of me, where others thrive, where others feel alive. Deep in the shadows there I'd be, where they'd never see me. But now that's ended. The stories turn the page, and now, though days get lonely, my thoughts no longer own me. In this new abnormal, I'm newly absolved of being someone who had to act every day to fit on a stage. I'd rather be fleeing. I don't wish a worry on this already worried world, but I'm in no hurry to go back to what's in store. As I walk the streets tonight, my wish in this dying light is we remember those who were lost before, those in the shadows, feeling they don't have a voice, those in the everyday, feeling they don't have a choice but to be just like you. But we're not like you, and try as I might, I'll never be. We'll always be different, them and me. It's getting better. Turns out, time can do that. And God knows I've had lots of time, just like we've all had. I don't wish a worry on this already worried world, but I'm in no hurry to go back to what's in store. As I walk the streets tonight, my wish in this dying light is we remember those who were lost before, those lost in the crowd, those whose minds are just too loud, where most few found. I was lost before.
Think we've done it, folks? A show. A real show.
Like Pinocchio, with lyrics.
Pinocchio already had lyrics.
Okay, fine. Like War and Peace, but significantly shorter.
And thank goodness for that. I think that guy's fallen asleep.
Aw, bless him, soothed by our velvety voices.
Or Cabernet.
Cabernet, cabaret. Either way, we win.
I suppose it's time to wrap it up then?
I guess so. I don't really want it to, you know, but I might have to hug someone.
You said it. I think here would be a good place to guilt trip the people into continuing to supporting the arts, especially in this time with, look, it's right here in my script that I'm reading.
Seriously though, thank you. To everyone here with us tonight, and everyone on the live stream, thank you. Because of people like you, who continue to support people like us, I can keep dreaming. I have a place to be imperfect.
I know that I matter.
I know I'll go on.
I'll be brave.
I'll be myself.
It's gonna take all of us.
Not just to get through this pandemic.
But to get through this life.
So, although we didn't come here tonight to preach, praise, or condemn, I hope we entertained.
We hope you stay safe.
We wish you health and happiness in the new year.
And we really hope we can do this again sometime. We hope you love our last song.
And if you don't, we hope you'll blame Mike for it. Hey, vice versa!
We all have our plans, but people's plans rarely last. It's out of your hands, come when your die is cast.
Oh, we didn't figure out vowels. Hold on. There should be music playing, but I didn't have enough. I don't have enough money for an orchestra. So here I am. Okay. So let's take individual bows then. From this side, this is Megan, and this is Sycamore, and this is Julia, and that's Rachel, and that's Jamie, and that's Leslie. And all us together. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you very much. And hey, thank you very much online as well. Yay, thank you very much. I guess that's it. So, yay! Online folks, did you like it? Oh, people are saying nice things online. Yay!
All the cheeses.
We appreciate the nice things. You guys can stand up now, it's okay.
Yeah. Sounds like part of the crowd. Stop there.
Ran out of words. You can stand.
Script ended.
I know.
Where's the encore?
I think Leslie broke every. Like when he was practicing it.
He was hiding it on purpose.
All right, folks, we're going. If you're watching online, thank you so very much. Chat with me sometime about it. I'll be back online later. Thank you.